Fauci just got hit with something he never saw coming.
Seeing no other motions, the question is on reporting of an original resolution regarding contempt of Congress. The clerk will call the roll.
Senator Johnson.
Yes.
Senator Langford.
Aye.
Senator Scott.
Yes.
Senator Hawley.
Aye.
Senator Moreno.
On behalf of the millions of people harmed by Anthony Fauci, resoundingly yes.
Senator Ernst. Aye. Senator Moody. Aye. Senator Peters.
No.
Senator Hassan.
No.
Senator Blumenthal.
No.
Senator Fetterman.
No.
Senator Kim.
No.
Senator Gallego.
No by proxy.
Senator Slotkin.
No by proxy.
Senator Paul.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, on the vote of those present, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5. On the vote by proxy and for the record only, the yeas are 0, the nays are 2. On this vote, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5, and the motion is agreed.
That's the moment a GOP-led Senate committee voted 8-5 to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. This is not some symbolic slap on the wrist. This is a formal criminal referral heading straight to Trump's Department of Justice. And if you could believe it, it gets even worse. Stick me to the very end of this video because we're going to see how this contempt vote is just the tip of the iceberg and how Fauci's worst nightmare from multiple angles is about to come true. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you make sense of the madness with breaking news and analysis you're not going to get anywhere else. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. So, as I'm sure you all know, last week, Dr. Anthony Fauci sat down in front of the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee chaired by Senator Rand Paul, and he absolutely humiliated himself in front of the entire nation, pleading the fifth 111 times. Every single question about his handling of the pandemic, every question about gain-of-function research, every question about the origins of this virus that killed over 1 million Americans, stonewalled with, on the advice of my counsel, I plead the fifth. And already at that hearing, Senator Rand Paul reminded him that a presidential pardon waives the right to appeal to the fifth since the pardon protects Fauci from self-incrimination. And therefore, his refusal to answer their questions is a blatant obstruction of a congressional investigation and a clear contempt of Congress. And that is exactly what was just fulfilled today. This morning, the committee voted 8-5 along party lines to hold Fauci in contempt of Congress. Every single Republican voted yes. Every single Democrat voted no. And that tells you everything you need to know about who's still trying to protect this man. This vote was a formal legal finding, officially declaring that Anthony Fauci obstructed a lawful congressional investigation, and it sets in motion a referral straight to the Department of Justice for potential criminal prosecution. I don't think I need to remind you that Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro were sent to prison for the very same offense, contempt of Congress. And it'll be very interesting to see what Todd Blanche at the DOJ decides to do here. If he's proved anything over these last several months, he's certainly not shy in prosecuting. But now we're learning that this contempt charge may in fact be the least of Fauci's worries. Take a look at this. Talk about yet another hammer blow. Fauci's own phone might have just sealed his fate. The Wall Street Journal's reporting says Senator Ron Johnson, chairman of the Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations, has announced he has obtained a full copy of Fauci's actual government cell phone straight from Bobby Kennedy's Health and Human Services Department. Johnson didn't hide his intent, posting on social media that he hoped the device would, quote, clarify many of the questions that Fauci refused to answer during that combative hearing, meaning the man who invoked the Fifth Amendment over 100 times may no longer get to control the narrative because his own texts will speak for him. This promises to be absolutely devastating for Fauci. We're now going to see every text, every contact that Fauci had during that horrific period of time, and no amount of Fifth Amendment stonewalling is going to cover that up. And that, of course, will be combined with his now infamous personal diary that was just published These were personal daily notes from his time running the National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Diseases during the pandemic. And Senator Paul released roughly 1,000 pages of Fauci's personal handwritten pandemic-era journal entries covering December 2019 all the way through December 2022, where Fauci was found to have repeatedly contradicted his public statements. So, for example, a January 26 entry states explicitly that, quote, "We now know the market," the Chinese wet market, the open air marketplaces in China, "we now know the market was not the source of the virus," completely contradicting Fauci's public wet market narrative. And there are entries that also show him privately taking credit for pushing lockdowns and school closures that he later publicly denied recommending. And he also allegedly fed preferred questions to CNN, particularly Jake Tapper. Not to mention that he fanboyed over his own fame, that he celebrated himself as being the most famous person on the planet. So this combination of his personal phone records as well as his personal diary recorded during the COVID years, both of that promises to, at the very least, finally set the record straight of what this guy truly is all about. But as bad as finding his phone and diary is, that may not even be his worst nightmare. You see, presidential pardons, even auto pen ones, while they may protect you from federal prosecution, they don't protect you from state prosecution. Or how about states, plural, prosecutions? Well, my friends, that's exactly what we're about to see. This is going to absolutely blow you away. But first, did you hear this week about the 2 deaths in Michigan from the Cyclospora parasite? Are you familiar with this? It's crazy. The CDC has more than 18,000 confirmed cases. You may have heard about this explosive diarrhea outbreak in the U.S. this summer. The CDC just confirmed the culprit. It's this new parasite found in grocery store fruits and vegetables, which has exposed hundreds of millions of Americans across over 30 states. The CDC is investigating a multi-state outbreak of Cyclospora. That's a parasite linked to contaminated fresh produce. It could cause severe diarrhea, stomach cramps, nausea, fatigue, and other debilitating symptoms. Now, if you get sick, the CDC recommends a standard antibiotic. Most people know it by its brand name, Bactrim. And that's why the wellness company created the medical emergency kit with generic Bactrim plus several other additional prescription medications to help treat more than 25 common illnesses and medical emergencies, all prescribed before you need them. Getting your kit is simple. Complete a secure online medical questionnaire. If approved by a licensed physician, your kit ships directly to your door. Don't wait until you're sick to wish you were prepared. Visit twc.health/Turley and use code Turley to save up to $45 off plus free shipping. Kits available to U.S. residents only. It's not just Congress anymore. Fauci is now a wanted man in 3 states and counting. Just hours after the damning Senate contempt vote, Florida Attorney General James Uthmeier went straight to Fox News and dropped a bombshell of his own. He has just issued a formal state subpoena demanding Fauci turn over records on what he knew and when he knew it about vaccine safety and efficacy, while he was out there publicly telling Americans to trust the shots without hesitation. And the Florida Attorney General didn't stop at vaccines. He went straight to Fauci's wallet, accusing him of using his COVID-era fame to chase book deals, awards, and connections with high rollers that could net him millions upon millions of dollars outside his official government role entirely. But Florida isn't fighting alone. This is now a full-blown multi-state manhunt for accountability. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Muriel joined the fight days earlier with 2 words that landed like a gut punch. Quote, Fauci lied. Muriel says Louisiana and Missouri already deposed Fauci once before, where he claimed, quote, he didn't recall Key details 174 separate times, but newly uncovered diary pages and now his phone records directly contradict that sworn testimony. Alabama has joined as well, and West Virginia. They both signed on just this week, bringing the active investigating coalition to at least 4 states digging for potential fraud, obstruction, and perjury charges. And here's the part that should terrify Fauci more than anything coming out of D.C. Behind these 4 active states stands an even bigger army waiting in the wings, a coalition of a stunning 17 Republican attorneys general from Texas to Missouri to Kansas who spent over a year building the legal groundwork to bring Fauci to justice in courtrooms Biden's pardon can't touch. It's already being widely reported that more states are expected to announce action in the coming weeks, meaning that the walls aren't just closing in on Fauci. They're closing in from every single direction at once. After years of dodging, deflecting, and hiding behind the science, Anthony Fauci finally appears to be headed for at least some form of accountability. A congressional contempt vote and DOJ investigation, his phone records seized, and upwards of 17 state attorney general launching investigations. It's all coming crashing down. Fauci wrote in his diary that he was the most famous man in the world. Well, now, in what may be the ultimate irony of the entire pandemic, that same fame he savored in the pages of his own diary is about to become the very thing that ultimately buries him. You've got enough on your plate. You shouldn't have to babysit the news cycle, too. Let me carry that noise for you. I'll sift it, I'll watch it, and I'll tell you what really matters for your home so you can lead in peace, not panic. Hit the link below to get my Patriot Alerts and let me help you protect your family with clarity every single day.